All right, listen up, because I'm only going to tell this story once. You think you've had it rough? You think you've been knocked down, laughed at, and told you're not good enough? Well, buckle up, because my tale is going to make your sob stories sound like a walk in the park. It all started in that godforsaken town where the air was thick with judgment and the people were thinner on hope. I was a cardiologist, sharp as a tack and twice as stubborn. I saw flaws in the system, big ones. And I wasn't afraid to shout it from the rooftops. But did anyone listen? Hell no. They laughed, they scoffed, and they told me I was an embarrassment to the family. My own flesh and blood, turning their backs on me like I was some kind of freak. But I didn't let it break me. No. I took that pain, that rejection, and I channeled it into something beautiful. I reinvented myself, became an innovator, a pioneer in neurocardiology technology. I developed a non-invasive neural heart monitoring system that would revolutionize cardiac care. But did anyone believe in me? Not a chance. The medical establishment mocked me, called my work unrealistic, a pipe dream. But I didn't care. I knew what I had, and I knew it was going to change the world. Years passed, and I worked my ass off. I faced setbacks, challenges, and more ridicule than I could count. But I didn't give up. I couldn't. Because every time I thought about giving in, I remembered the look on their faces, the laughter, the derision. And I used it as fuel. And then, one day, it all paid off. My technology was a hit, a game changer. I was invited to speak at conferences, featured in magazines, and suddenly, everyone wanted a piece of me. But I didn't forget where I came from. No, I made a promise to myself that one day I'd go back. I'd show them what I'd become, and I'd make them eat their words. So there I was, standing in front of that old house, the one I grew up in, the one where they told me I'd never amount to anything. I knocked on the door, and when it opened, there they were. My family, looking at me like I was a ghost. "Can I help you?" my mother asked, her voice cold and distant. I smiled, a slow, satisfied smile. "I'm here to see the family," I said. "I have something to show you." They let me in, curiosity piqued. I could see the skepticism in their eyes, the disbelief. But I didn't care. I had the upper hand, and I was going to enjoy every second of it. I set up my equipment, a small, portable version of my neurocardiology technology. I showed them the readings, the data, the proof of what I'd accomplished. And as they watched, their jaws dropped. They saw the future of cardiac care right there in front of them, and they knew they'd been wrong. But it wasn't just about the technology. It was about the journey, the struggle, the triumph. It was about proving to them and to myself that I was more than they'd ever given me credit for. And as I stood there looking at their stunned faces, I knew I'd won. But I didn't gloat. No, I didn't need to, because the look on their faces, the realization of their past derision, was punishment enough. And as I left that house, I left with my head held high, knowing that I'd faced my demons and come out on top. And that, my friends, is my story. A story of rejection, of struggle, of triumph. A story of a girl who was told she'd never amount to anything and who proved them all wrong. So the next time you're feeling down, the next time you're facing ridicule or doubt, remember my story. Remember that sometimes the greatest triumphs come from the deepest pains. And remember that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, you can always rise above. You can always prove them wrong. And you can always, always come out on top.